March edition of the Development Alliance meeting, also known as Durango Rocks Nonprofit of the Year. How about it? Can you steal Mike's thunder? He'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. But thank you all for being here, especially after a daylight savings time change. I don't know about you, but it wrecked me pretty hard. Take a minute to get over that. Lots of people in the room today. Do we have any first-time attendees? Start here. Yes, sir. Stand up and introduce yourself.
Michael Boravan, entrepreneur, major family foundation, 200,000 a year to the community.
Thanks, welcome. Somebody in the back? Go ahead.
Sean McLean. I'm a sales and marketing manager at Desert Sun Coffee. We provided the coffee today. Very much. Nice to see everyone.
Go ahead.
Well, candidate for the seat of Lauren Boulder is.
Oh.
See you, Lou.
Tom Donnelly, nonprofit expert, CFO for multiple nonprofits based here and on the West Coast.
Great. Welcome.
Amy Beth Schaefer, financial advisor with Bank of Colorado Investment Services.
Great. Welcome. Anybody else?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kyle Guy. I'm a business attorney. I've been practicing in Massachusetts for 13 years, but expanding here to Durango, and I'm here with my wife today.
Rachel Guy. I do operations for our law firm.
Very good. Welcome.
I'm Leah Sawyer, and I'm doing some market research for the potential use of drones in construction site tracking. Thank you.
Nice. Anybody else?
Justin James with Sirius Texas Marketing.
We do have one special guest that's only been here 12 days. I want everybody to welcome him to the area because he came all the way from Kentucky to be the Four Corners Economic Development Director. That's Tim Gibbs over here. Tim? All right, we're gonna move on. Just a reminder, the sign-up sheet is going around. I think JJ told me that last month we had 75 people here, but only 50 people signed the sign-in sheet. It's not good enough, people. Come on, let's get everybody to sign up, all right? So we'll move right into the chair update. Steve Elias is in Virginia, so I'm stepping in, Mitch Dye, vice chair of the board. This past board meeting, we discussed the open seat that we have on the board, and we will be appointing a new board member by the next meeting. So we'll have somebody new to introduce to you at the next Alliance meeting. We did complete a review of Mike, the board director, or not the director, board director, but the director, Mike French. I think we all can agree that he's done a fabulous job for us in leading this organization and his team. And then, again, like I mentioned at the very beginning, the Alliance was recognized as the nonprofit of the year. And so we're very, very grateful for that and supportive of you all. And if you cast a vote, we really do appreciate that. So lots to talk about today. So we need to move into it. Next up, our director, Mike French.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, morning, Mike.
As Mitch said, we were recipients of the award. First and foremost, I think it's a reflection of all the hard work that our staff has put in. So I want to personally thank Sarah, JJ, Sarah, Linda, and Evan. They do yeoman's work day in and day out to advance the programming. And I think all that programming is what really gave us the recognition and has really cemented kind of the brand of the Alliance in the community in the last couple of years. We have just amazing leadership with the board. We have an excellent board, as you guys well know, and that's not just the current board, but the leadership that Jameson Bobbin brought, and now Steve Elias and the rest of the board members has been just fantastic over the last few years. And then the award is not ours, it's yours. it's the membership. When you think about what constitutes the Alliance, it's our members and our strategic partners. So it's really, I want to celebrate you because it's your award. Really, it's a reflection of the Alliance and its entire organization. And so for that, I thank you very, very much. Last but not least, I'll talk about the annual report. If you didn't see one on your way in, please grab one on your way out. They drove all the way to Cortez yesterday to the printer to get these off the press. There's some great information in here. All of our annual reports do as good of a job as we can with the 12 pages that we have. If you guys know anything about printing these kind of books, they go in 4s. So we don't have quite enough to do 16, but probably more than 12. And so a few things were skipped, but all of our programming information for the year, our finances, some letters from the chair, and a reflection of the work in 2023 is in the annual report. We have a full schedule, so I'm gonna pass on any program updates. We'll probably do that next month. We do have Sarah Tober reviewing Catalyst Fund and an update on housing. And then we've got something a little new as opposed to coffee sponsors. We're gonna highlight our Chairman Circle members. So in this month, we are gonna highlight Mr. Brandon Mancini.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Great to see everybody. I'm Brandon Mancini. I'm the CEO at Mercy Hospital. I've been at Mercy for about 1.5 years. This will be 18 months for me this month. So it's been an awesome move to town. I was just sharing. Kids are at Miller Middle School. Absolutely love it. So feel very fortunate to be here. So I'm going to share just a couple of quick slides with you. For those of you that attended the Southwest Economic Outlook, these are a few of the slides that were presented a couple months ago that really help set the stage for where we are today with healthcare locally. And I'll get into where we stand at Mercy Hospital. This is the one that I think is really the most, we got 2 slides here that are the most telling. The green columns here show total expenses and the blue columns here show patient revenue. Over the course of the past few years, you see expenses continue to grow at a much faster rate than hospital revenues do. And this is Colorado Hospital Association data, so this is true for all hospitals throughout the state of Colorado. You look at charity care, so this is, self-pay or basically no-pay patients across the board. Charity care continues to grow as well, so 137,246. Back in 2019, people understand it grew, through COVID, kind of, was, flat over the course of the next 3 years, but up substantially, nearly 220,000 or 20,000 up into 2023 here. This slide here is the one that really hits hard to us. So you see workforce violence is something that's a major focus for us at Mercy Hospital. When patients show up at the hospital, they're frustrated. And unfortunately, it's taken a toll on our healthcare workers. So 44% of our workforce throughout the state of Colorado experienced some type of physical abuse over the course of the past year, and 68% verbal abuse. So this is a major focus for us in terms of how we, are there to support our teams, but also just work with our communities to say, when you're arriving at the hospitals, our teams are working hard, staffing is super hard. We want people to be grateful as they arrive. All right, so looking here, this is the population that we serve. So people think that we serve Durango, La Plata County. We actually serve a huge part of New Mexico as well too. And it's about 30 to 40% of the total patients we see at Mercy are New Mexico residents. You can kind of see the map there, and that basically shows our primary service area. The growth that we've seen over the course of this past year is pretty substantial. So this shows fiscal year 21 into 2022. So as we are rebounding through COVID, it was widely publicized that Mercy had some challenges with a number of different physicians that were leaving. And it's true that we did see an impact with this. Nearly every major service line that we have in the hospital decreased by overall market share. OB, NICU, cardiac care, spine was the only service line that grew. Well, fast forward into 2023, this is where we are right now. We've grown in every service line across the board. Urology with the recruitment of Dr. Chris Stewart, we're up 25%. OB, NICU, cardiac, ENT, spine is really the only service line that we dropped in. Outmigration is a major focus for us. And from the same years, 21 to 22, we saw more and more patients leave our service area and go to the Front Range for care. So about 76% of the patients stayed here in 2021, and this is collectively between us, Nash, and all the local hospitals in our service area. But that dropped to 74.2 year over year into 2022, with more patients going to Denver. And it wasn't substantial, but it was something. Well, fast forward right now to 2023, we're up to 76.4%. So up nearly 200 basis points of patients staying in our service area for care, which I think is incredible. Fewer and fewer patients going to Denver. So you say, how have we done this? At Mercy, pretty much all of our volumes are increasing substantially. Admits are up 6.3%, surgeries are up 4.68% across the board, deliveries up slightly, nearly 2%. Outpatient imaging, we've hired a ton of staff and opened weekend hours, not earlier in the mornings, up 11.9%. But the challenge is, go back to that first slide that I showed, that the expense we have across the board, supplies, pharmaceuticals, salaries, all are up as well too. One of the biggest pieces, one of the decisions I made when I first started is we recruited a ton of physicians. I wanted to make sure that we had completely opened our doors by bringing locums in here and having permanent locums to provide support. So that's that physician remuneration number there at 25%. But we continue to see growth in the area. So how have we rebounded at Mercy? This shows the picture of everyone knows of pushing up a rock up the hill. Well, with our team, we said we want to be the team that puts a rope around that rock and helps you bring it up the hill. And through that, physician recruitment has been the #1 thing that we focused on. We have a new physician starting with our medical oncology team this summer, Dr. Loretta Stupil. She is trained at MD Anderson, been there for years, vacationed in Durango, will be joining our team. Every other major service line, which is what's led to the rebound, is growing as well. Cardiology, 2 years ago, we had 1.5 total cardiology providers, that's physicians and advanced practice providers, PAs or nurse practitioners. We have 8 right now. We'll have 10 by the end of the year. Urology is growing drastically. Primary care is fully staffed, and we're looking at adding a 4th location. GI has rebounded as well. Really substantial growth across the board with everything. And what that's done is it's led to a decrease in overall times to be seen. So this is all primary care. You can get in to see a primary care physician, whether you're a new patient or the existing patient within 1 week. And the focus with this is to make sure that we keep quality at the top. So we're a Leapfrog A, CMS 5-star, and US News and World Report has ranked us highest performing hospital in Southwest Colorado in 4 more procedures. Collectively, this means that we're amongst the top 5% in the country. This is really special for our community here to have all this in place, and it's a major focus for us at Mercy. Recognition is a big focus for us, and so we've restarted recognition as a priority. So our Lifetime Achievement Awards, you've seen that in the news over the course of the past couple of years. Thankful Thursday, Mission Awards, years of service, really leaned in. Thankful Thursday is a peer recognition thing that we started where once a week we have our teams recognize each other, and we throw a mini celebration every Thursday where we bring people that do amazing things forward with everyone else. And we've looked at how we can support our team. So we had this idea to create a lavender room. And it's a room that basically takes fresh lavender that's gardened here locally, has a yoga mat, has a massage chair. People can go sign up via an app for 20 minutes and just escape to re-energize their soul. Some of you have probably eaten in our cafeteria, and Paul Delos, who previously ran the Palace. He runs the food services at Mercy. So we have fantastic food. but it's crowded and busy. And so if you really want to go relax, having a place like the Lavender Room is a place that we can really help our teams re-energize. And we've invested in our team. And so we, as Common Spirit, have put out $747,000 through a program we have in place for clinical excellence and training. And it basically, if nurses complete a bunch of different material, we'll use this to reinvest in them as a leader. What this has done is it's led to decrease in vacancy rates. So the average nursing vacancy rate around the country is about 24%. We're at 0.3% at Mercy. Really have done a great job stabilizing the workforce for that. Our techs and unit secretaries are also less than 10% as well. And we've reinvested in our community, awarded over $500,000 to local nonprofits through the health equity and advancement grants. This is something that also is part of being part of Common Spirit in terms of how we give back to our communities. And food security, another major area of focus for us. We recognize this is a critical need, not only nationwide, but certainly in our community. And we have distributed 17,500 pounds of food over the course of this past year. And it's all food that's raised through local farms. So what's next? New medical office building will be opening next year. Construction is ahead of schedule. Steel went in this past week. Ambulatory surgery center on the first floor. This is a lower cost option for patients in our community to receive care. We'll more than double the number of GI procedure rooms available here on our campus. We have 2 on our campus. We'll have 2 in the new space as well. And we're giving back, we're tying this into the community. So as you may be aware, the land was donated to Mercy Hospital by the Southern Ute Tribe. And it's really important for us that we continue the traditions that have existed long before the hospital was present. And so we're going to have this giant mural that's put together by Mr. Orland James, a Southern Ute tribal artist. That'll be in the lobby when you come in. There's a story that was shared where an eagle flew overhead as they were blessing the land of the hospital years ago. And again, with the new medical office building, so keeping that image of the eagle will be present as we move forward. And then also making sure the nature trails are intact as we go forward as well too. All right, went really fast, a lot of information there, but was that helpful to see some of the rebound that we have here in our community?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
All right, Laura, update.
Thank you guys so much. As you know, we're all on a time limit, so I'm always like, I want to win. What I'm going to talk about today is a little bit about Region 9 Economic Development District's year in review, enterprise zone, because now is the time. If you have never utilized it, you need to do that now so that you can actually get tax credits. And then Rural Jumpstart, which is really timely. In fact, the La Plata County Commissioners are voting on it today. For those of you who aren't familiar with Region 9, these are some of our programs. We are working on middle mile broadband. We're working regionally with housing coordination, the Prop 123. We work closely with the Alliance and all of our economic development groups in each of the counties. Transit connectivity. And then I just want to point out Southwest Opioid Response District. That is the group that was formed to help monitor the opioid response dollars. And I'll be talking a little bit about that as well. And then Southwest Enterprise Zone, which I'll be talking about. Just to give you some numbers, just in La Plata County, in parentheses, that was last year, those were inquiries directly to our office. And you'll see the business loan fund, which we have 64 inquiries out of 47. Enterprise Zone, that was out of the park, and that was because we added Durango Midtown. That was a boundary amendment this last year, and everyone called about it. And then you'll see we have general inquiries, grant inquiries. I wanted to point out 3 links. We did not have our corporate annual report picked up in Cortez. So it is on our website, and I'll bring hard copies next month. But we also have our new updated economic snapshot that I wanted to let you know, and that's also linked and available on our website. And then finally, we do performance reports for each county. Those are primarily for our county commissioners and our electeds because we need to show them what we are doing for them and for our constituents. So that's a more detailed county level update. So please, you can access those on our website as well. These are some of the activities I just want to highlight. I mentioned SOAR and the opioid response. We are putting the majority of our money towards a recovery residence in our region. So even though we can't do inpatient treatment for substance opioid use, we can, when people get treated or they come out of jail and they are sober, we can work to keep them sober and productive members of our community, i.e. workforce. We have a transit website, which has all of our transit providers, public and private. So ideally, you can go all the way from Archuleta County to Dove Creek. You may have to change vehicles, but our goal is to continue to build that out in the region. And then the CNL we completed in the Old Main Post Office with La Plata County. It's a fiber drop areas as we do our connections across our region. And then we did $1.8 million of loans in La Plata County alone. So I have to point out Brian Rose in our office, and he is carrying all he's my Vanna. So if you need any of these documents, go find him. We also do data dashboards, and this is one thing we're really happy at with the subscriptions that we have. We're able to share those widgets with the Alliance and our other economic development groups, and they have more county level specific data. So you can find those on our website, you can find them on the Alliance website, depending on what you're looking for. But I'm here actually to talk about the enterprise zone today. So it is a state program. The areas in pink are not eligible. They look at each area of our counties on what is considered distress. And that changes about every 10 years. In 2 years, they will be updating these boundaries. But right now, we have a lot of La Plata County that is eligible. So let me focus on the positive. This is Durango. The green is eligible, and the Midtown area was added this year. So if your business is in any of those green areas, just because you exist in that green area, there are tax credits that you can get on your state income taxes. So if you didn't know that, you need to go bug Brian because we have information, and who doesn't want lower taxes? And then this was the Midtown amendment that became eligible this year. These are the credits. This is why it's important. Your business, if nothing else, does invest in their business and buy a copier, buy office equipment, buy manufacturing equipment, buy tools. All of that is eligible for a 3% state tax credit. So you have all your equipment, end of the year, 3% of those purchases you can get as a tax credit. There's also job training. So if you have to send your welders off for certification, OSHA training, that kind of thing, new employees, you can also get credits. I don't have enough time today to go into all of those, but please call us. We want to save you money, and this is a program that the state offers primarily for rural areas. This is what the web page looks like. If you Google Colorado Enterprise Zone, and you'll see it says apply for a tax credit. The first time, this is really, really important. If you have never done this before, you have to pre-certify. The state has no idea where your business is. They don't know you're in an enterprise zone, and you have to tell them in order to be eligible. So basically, like anything, you establish a username and password. You can pre-certify early. So right now, if you went in and pre-certified, you cannot count anything in January and February. So you've already missed 2 months out of the year. But in this next year, if you were to pre-certify for 2025, you can get the entire year. This is the only information they need. They want to know your business address. Make sure you're in an enterprise zone. They make you do this every year because businesses open and close, and all of the enterprise zones change. NAICS code, your tax preparer information. If you are one who likes to delegate, make your tax preparer do this from now on. But make sure you pre-certify. And then once you have pre-certified, username, password, and you're on. And this is through the Office of Economic Development. So please take a brochure, please call us if this sounds like something you're not taking advantage of. And then once you have username and password, when you're on the Office of Economic Development site, they have all of these boxes and you find enterprise zone business tax credits. I also want to talk about Rural Jumpstart because that's happening today. That's another state incentive program, and it's a tax relief and grant program. And basically it's for rural economically distressed counties. La Plata is now newly eligible. So all of a sudden, La Plata, good or bad, is becoming more distressed. We're getting more enterprise zones, and now we're eligible for Rural Jumpstart. Our other 4 counties in Region 9 have already been participating. And they have also changed the guidelines to make it easier for businesses, even though you probably won't think that's a big deal when I tell you. But the county commissioners need to pass a resolution. They're doing that today. Once the county agrees to participate, then the municipalities can participate. So if Ignacio wants to participate, they can't do it unless the county already has. And that's because it's layered tax relief, state tax, then county, then local. So we're going to try to get Durango, Bayfield, and Ignacio to also be a rural jumpstart zone because it will help businesses that fit. Basically, this is the hard part. You have to be non-operating in Colorado when you apply. So what we're looking at, La Plata County has SCAPE, we're trying to build up new businesses that are just getting started that fit this criteria. But La Plata wasn't eligible before. Now they are. So we think there's going to be a lot of businesses that will benefit. You have to export a product or service outside of the area. And that's primarily because they want you to bring money into your economy and grow your economy. You have to hire at least 5 employees. That seems so hard sometimes, but above the average annual wage. I don't know if that number is correct, sorry, for La Plata County, but you have to be paying high wages. And then you have to be sponsored by either Fort Lewis College or Region 9 if you're a business. We only have 3 approved businesses right now. We have one in Montezuma that was just approved. It was Higher Purpose Home because they're just starting. And they have a unique business. I didn't mention that. You have to be unique in the whole region. It used to be you had to be unique in the state. So we missed tailwinds when they first started, but we're looking at those unique businesses. Sasquatch up in Silverton, and then Cold Cases in Archuleta County. We expect with having La Plata County eligible, we'll be able to get a lot more. These are the tax benefits. You get relief for 4 years up to 8 for your state taxes as a business, your sales and use tax, and your county municipal property taxes, and your employees get state income tax relief. So that's how they hire their extra 5 employees at the high wage level. There's also a grant which High Purpose is doing where they're trying to build up their plan, build by purchase equipment, things like that, and grants per new hire. The program was supposed to expire the end of June this year, but it's back with the legislature and we believe it's getting approved again. That's why we're kind of moving forward so we can be on that. There's only 16 counties that are participating in this program. So we're hoping to make it 17. That's my presentation. There's my contact information. Please see, I put Terry at the bottom. She is our enterprise zone administrator. So if anybody's interested in that as well. Thank you.
All right. Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a comment on the last presentation. As a donor to the hospital, I found out that it was an enterprise zone, but it doesn't qualify if you're using a donor advised fund. I use Fidelity Charitable, but it does qualify you if you use QCDs.
Very good. Good information. Thank you. All right. Nicole Killian, our Community Development Director for the town of Bayfield, is going to give us an update.
Thanks, Marcus.
Good morning. Thanks for having me here today. It's good to be back. And I just want to apologize in advance if you're going to the Wells Group annual forecast tomorrow night, you'll see the same presentation. So town of Bayfield, lots going on in town of Bayfield. I'm sure a lot of you have heard. We have a lot of development coming into town in the next couple of years. And just want to walk you through some of the things that are going on currently, as well as some long range projects going on. I'll go through these pretty fast. So 23 was a big year for us. We received 2.7 million in grant funding for a project that we're deed restricting in the town limits. The city actually bought the property. And we're looking for a development partner right now. So there's an RFQ out on the Rocky Mountain BidNet to look for a partner to develop the project. We have been accepted to the Colorado Dark Sky Certification Program, as well as the Sonoran Institute's Water and Land Use Metrics program, which we're trying to tie our land use and future development with our water and making sure that we have enough to sustain us for the future. We adopted the 2018 building codes. We adopted a new mission, vision, and values for the town. We adopted a new Joe Stevenson Park, that's our main park, a master plan, as well as we updated our comprehensive plan to the 2023 plan. So busy year trying to get some of these long range big projects done so that when as development comes in, we have our roadmap in place. So in the last 2 years, so I've been with the town of Bayfield for 2 years now. So in my time with the town, we've annexed 229 acres. We're actually talking to another 200 acres potential annexation. So there's a lot going on with that. Approximately 360,000 square feet of commercial in our new annexation areas that could be coming to the community. 408 single family detached units, 70 attached, 20 duplex units, 201 multifamily units, 15 manufactured. These are our tiny homes in town. We have a new tiny home village, as well as 100 RV and camp sites in the town. You know, Bayfield does not have a hotel. Maybe RV parks are our thing, we don't know. But we're certainly welcoming having that type of use in our community where people can come and stay in our community. So non-residential projects, we have a Christian school that's looking at relocating into our community. Our fire district is looking at building a new fire station / medical clinic in town, which is huge for our community. We have Porky Smokehouse coming into town, so new restaurant, and then also Tractor Supply is currently in review for a site in Bayfield. Our big transportation projects, we have the one in the middle is we're doing a study to see if that warrants a safe pedestrian crossing along the highway at that location. We did get some CDOT grant funding for that, and then our new signal, which is on the right side of the screen. Our new signal project, we actually just heard that we had applied for some congressionally directed spending last year, and we just heard we got 1.57 million for that project. So very excited about that. We just heard that on Saturday, so super excited. We also are redoing our Mill Street, which is our downtown street. We're redoing all the sidewalks to make them ADA compliant. So we started on the west side. We completed that project. We're currently under construction on the east side, and then we're just going to keep making our way to the middle. Again, most of these projects grant funded for the town. And our residential projects, Clover Meadows, this was approved in 2020. This is almost completely built out. So we are running out of inventory in the town limits with new lots. So we have a few projects that are under construction right now, but this one is almost built out. Mustang Crossing, which is just south of the project I just showed you. This one is under construction for the first 19 units, which will be on the west side of the project. They're finishing up infrastructure, so we hope to see building permits. This is single family market rate housing in the community. Right now, we say we need all housing. Again, like I said, our inventory is low, so we need deed restricted, we need apartments, we need duplexes, we need townhomes, we need single family, we need it all. We have another infill project. This is an acre project, an acre in size. They have 9 single family lots that are detached and then 4 townhome units on that bigger lot one. 2 of these units already have COs, 2 are getting close to COs, and they're getting ready to post some more permits for this. This is our tiny home village. We have 6 tiny homes located in there right now, and have heard that we have multiples coming in this year as well. So I see that probably filling up pretty fast with that housing product. This is our largest annexation to date. This is a 153 acre annexation on the northeast corner of town. This one is really dependent on us getting that signal in place on that east side of Bayfield of 160 and Bayfield Parkway. But this will bring us a lot of single family, multifamily, commercial uses to the community, as well as where we put the signal. We're going to have a road that runs north from there that will connect to 2 of our schools, our middle school and our secondary school. So again, the signal is a big thing for our community and connectivity. Cinnamon Heights, this is the one the town bought. We bought this back in 2021, and it's 30 platted lots. We received 2.7 million in grant funding from the state and also from La Plata County. So we're grateful to, if there's someone here from La Plata County, very grateful for that help in getting this project going. So again, RFQs, Rocky Mountain BidNet, looking for a developer that's interested in coming in and helping us construct these units with that grant funding. Pine River Commons, this is one that's currently under construction. If you ever drive through Bayfield on Highway 160, you'll see this project. A lot of dirt being moved right now as you're heading out of town, heading east. And we do have a representative, Brad's here for this project. We're trying to get deed restricted units, 66 units, as well as there's some commercial lots that'll face the highway with essentially a frontage road accessing those lots. But right now they're working on the residential. Been trying to find some grant funding to help keep those units at a low cost for our community, working with Charlie Albert and Brad Blake. It's been, I mean, we don't have affordable housing requirements in Bayfield or deed restricted requirements. We don't have a fair share. So having a developer come to town that just wants to give us the type of units that we need for our workforce has been awesome to work with. And so they are starting construction on their first 24 units and in their phase 1A. So a lot of, and then they just, the big earth moving was, they had to put one of our major ditches in a pipe. And so that's what they've been spending their winter on, so that before irrigation season starts, that's complete. So that's where that project's at. Ironton, this is a new annex project that is our more of an RV part. We do have 20 duplex lots as part of this, but they're looking at RVs, some cabins, and tent areas for camping. They have a nice pond and it's in walking distance to our downtown. So just south of the highway and just west of the Buck Highway. Who's familiar with the Bayfield area. Clover Meadows, phase 8. This is a project that they're just at the very beginning stages of this, but looking at multifamily right now, it's zoned for an average of 20 units per acre. Right now, they're looking at some townhomes for this project as well, and that's infill in the middle of our community. And you know, this housing, I mean, I think a lot of people are concerned with the amount of housing coming to Bayfield. We know it's not all going to come at once. We know we're growing over time, but people want a bigger grocery store, or they want other services where we don't have to drive into Durango every time you need to go to the store. And so really rooftops is how you get some of that commercial into the community. And we also want to make sure that we maintain housing for our teachers and our firefighters, because I always say, people will commute to Durango. I did it for 16 years, but not many people will commute far to Bayfield. So we need to make sure we're housing our workforce close by. And so that's why, you know, the housing is important to us. We want to make sure it's done right. We want to make sure the small town charm of our community is still there after all this housing comes in. So some of the goals, I'll just go through these really fast. We've been updating our land use code after we adopted our 2023 comprehensive plan. We have a lot of implementation projects that we want to do, and a lot of that is to update our land use code. And we have things that are missing. We just updated the FEMA floodplain updates, so we're ready to go on that. In pet storage, we did do that. We're looking at agriculture zones. The next one, we have a lot of neighboring agriculture properties that really want to come into the town and work with, you know, they feel like they're connected more to our community than to the county as a whole, and they really want to be a part of the community. They want to have these unique agribusinesses, whether it's being able to just sell their products on, you know, in a little stand on their property, or, you know, participate in a bigger farmers market, educational for our high school and FFA and 4-H programs. And so there's a lot of potential to work with our ag community. And so we're looking at an ag zone where we could annex these agriculture properties, allow them to remain agriculture in our community, and do some unique agribusinesses for the town of Bayfield. Other things we're looking at, we have a lot of county enclaves still, so some big annexations, completing our big projects, the highway projects, as well as our Mill Street sidewalks. We're also, one thing we're doing that's unique is stormwater. We had a big storm in 2022, was a 500-year event, and we had a lot of flooding in the community. And from that, we have started a stormwater feasibility study with our engineers and our board of trustees adopted a stormwater fee, which is similar to, it's a stormwater fund, so it's similar to what the city of Durango or Ignacio or Bayfield, we all have these enterprise funds where we collect for water and sewer, so we would have a stormwater fund now. And the town would actually take over stormwater facilities, even in HOAs, and make sure they maintain appropriately moving forward. And so we're finalizing our feasibility for that. So that's another big project we have going on. And that's it. Thank you.
There is a lot of great things happening in this community, as you can see, and who knew all this stuff was going on in Bayfield, right? That was a fantastic update. I see some pictures being taken. I see, people taking notes. I want to remind everybody that these slides will be available on the Alliance website. So if you want to refer back to them and kind of dig into them a little bit more, they will be available. These presentations are short and sweet. So next up, Sarah Tober, our Deputy Director, for an update.
Thanks, Mitch. All right, and if you actually do grab one of these annual reports, in the middle is some great information about what we've been doing in our workforce housing program and with the Regional Housing Alliance, now that we have it stood back up. So Catalyst Fund Round 3 is opening at the end of this month, so the 25th of March, and it'll be open through the beginning of May. We've had 2 successful rounds of the Catalyst Fund so far. We funded about $370,000 in projects. We've raised about $933,000 to date, so almost $1 million. Those 2 rounds of projects included 7 projects throughout the county. So it's a good representation of each one of the government partners that are also a part of the RHA and the countywide need to address workforce housing. And the Catalyst Fund, just to remind everybody, the Housing Catalyst Fund is to help leverage state funding for these projects. So like Pine River Commons received a Catalyst Fund Round 1. They have been applying to the state through DOLA, through DOH, different funding mechanisms specific to workforce housing. So they're able to leverage those local dollars and demonstrate to the state that they have more support than and it helps with their capital stack as well. So you'll be able to find that Catalyst Fund Round 3 on our website. Mike has placed it there for you. So it's /Catalyst Fund on our website. So keep your eye out for the next round to open. And then the Regional Housing Alliance, everyone knows that we've been working with them for the last year and standing that organization back up. We've turned the engine on, we've got new tires on it, and it's catching momentum. They're meeting every month. They received a technical assistance grant from the DOH last year. That helped to bring in an education series last year. It helped to facilitate a retreat for the RHA board where a strategic plan was created for 2024. And we actually have those in the back of the room as well. So you will see that the RHA is becoming pretty laser focused on a couple of initiatives. So this is just our 2023 year in review. This is some of the things that the RHA was able to accomplish. We built a lot of momentum again around the workforce housing conversation, getting everybody on the same page as to what the AMIs are for this area. We know that we're unique here in the southwest corner. And so we have, those AMIs are based on HUD, CHAFA, as well as, I shouldn't use it. Acronyms, I apologize. But they are HUD, CHAFA, and the Homes Fund reviewed it, the City of Durango, and then the partners in the Regional Housing Alliance, which is La Plata County, towns of Bayfield and Ignacio, and the City of Durango. So getting everybody on the same page as to what that missing middle was, which was looking at 80 to 120% AMI. At times it is down to 60%, all the way up to 140%. We know those ranges can change quite a bit in a year's time, given the cost of housing these days. So we were able to also track the funding that each of the government partners are going after as well. This helps us to collaborate more so that we're not competing against each other, or when there's opportunities, we can work together to achieve the funding needs. And through that, I believe the next slide has it. Through that, we're able to track that each entity has asked for 27.7 million from the state and has received 11.3 million. So as you can see, there's quite a gap between what we're asking from the state and what we're receiving. So while all this money is trickling down through the state for workforce housing and for affordable housing in general, we know that we're again in a challenged position here in the southwest corner, accessing those funds at times. So working together is our best bet, and it also helped to fuel our strategic plan that clearly articulates the need for a local funding source for the RHA. The RHA has been around since 2004 and has not been able to achieve a sustainable funding source to date, and we would like to change that. So we have created a stakeholder task force for evaluation and endorsement of revenue streams, steer committee that is comprised of roughly around 30 individuals right now that are business leaders. They are workforce housing champions. They are community leaders. They're folks throughout the county that represent chambers, school districts, and that can sit down at the table and really look at what we have in front of us for potential funding of the RHA. So we've had 2 meetings so far, and we're going to have a subcommittee that's going to really dig into the data around sustainable revenue streams for the RHA. The steer committee will then, by the end of this year, make recommendations to the RHA board and what they believe the RHA should pursue. And the hopes thereafter is that the RHA board and the steer committee will continue to work until we're able to obtain that sustainable source of funding for the RHA. And this is, again, when you look at that gap between what the state funds are providing this area and the needs for development that is under market, we have to have a diversified capital stack. And so this will help to put money back into local projects and make sure that they keep moving forward. And these are all the kind of common uses of local funding for the RHA. So there are things like rehab and adaptive reuse, matching, leveraging funding, like I mentioned, the gap finance, programs, capacity, building that. So there's a lot of good uses that this money will be put to once we are able to identify the source. So just kind of wrapping up what we've done for the RHA this year, what we're working on for the rest of the year. We've been able to complete the strategic plan. Again, you can grab one of those in the back on your way out. We are finalizing the 2023 annual reports. The board will be voting on that this Thursday. They meet every second Thursday of the month, 2 to 4 p.m. here at the Innovation Center. And then we're building and have built the steer committee. So we're excited about what the steer committee is going to bring to the RHA. And we're working on a countywide housing needs assessment. There was a housing needs assessment done in 2021 by Root Policy. As you know, 2020 data is pretty skewed at this point. So we need some fresh data as to where our housing needs are in the county and for each municipality within that. This again is utilized in applying for state funds and understanding our need, but it also will help give us a snapshot of where our workforce is coming from and what their housing needs look like currently. We're updating the 3-year workforce housing investment strategy, so that should be out next month, as well as we are having our first annual Southwest Housing Summit on April 30th. It will be at the DoubleTree, and we will be sending out information to the membership this next month on that. The sustainable funding source and kind of bringing back LIHTC to the La Plata County area. Those are the things that we're working on.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. Again, public partner updates. Mayor.
All right, coming to the end here. Thank you, Sarah, for reminding me of the meeting we have Thursday. So I just want to let you guys know things are going well in Ignacio. One of the kind of interesting things in Ignacio that came up a week and a half ago, we went to an energy impact committee, which is administered by DOLA, asking for some revenues and grants to replace some steel gas pipe that we currently have in Ignacio. Ignacio is one of 12 communities that still maintains and operates a gas facility. We talk about the enterprise fund. We have sewer, water, and gas in Ignacio, all 3 of those in a very small community. It's hard to find people to get certified for that. And once you do, you want to utilize them. So we're actually utilizing our town staff to put the gas line in for our Rock Creek project. And that's what they're working on right now. They'll be doing pressure testing today. I don't know if you think about those kind of details when you think about a community, but it does add to our complexity. Other than that, last week was my last day with the Ignacio Chamber Board, so I'm no longer representing the chamber when I'm here. I'll be glad to talk to them about them, but I'll try to get somebody else in here. Other than that, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Ashley, Mayor Bayfield.
I think Nicole crushed it for our Bayfield update, but just one thing to add, tomorrow evening at 5:30, the League of Women Voters is hosting a forum for Meet the Candidates. We do have 5 people running for board seats and 2 people running for mayor. So come out and meet your candidates and see who you're gonna vote for on April 2nd.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes. We have our regular city council meeting tonight instead of next Tuesday due to 9-hour spring break and a bunch of us having kids, so we moved it up, so it's tonight. We will be honoring something super important. We'll be honoring the Durango High School hockey team who just won. There was amazing. Okay, some other big things. Downtown's Next Steps Public Forum is here in this building, 5:30 on Thursday. So if you want to get an update, we're at 30% design phase of the project. So if you want to get a project update on that, come to the public forum. The first round of Lodgers Tax and Culture was awarded for this year. We had was awarded to 18 applicants, totaling $556,000. So our Lodgers tax going to some good projects there. The Bump Out program will launch March 26th, March 28th-ish. Application deadline has already passed, but if you want in on it, you can email Tommy Crosby with the city and he will, you can chat with him about it. I won't talk about the Catalyst Fund because Sarah did a great job, but city's super excited about that. We contributed $250,000 towards the Catalyst Fund. For some sustainability updates, we have our Green Business Certification Program is accepting new businesses right now. So you can go to Forecore site and check that out if you want to get in on that. And then we have a turf grass replacement program that's launching mid-March. We're partnering with local landscaping companies to provide free consultations on alternatives to water-intensive grass, up to $4,000 per site in rebates. You can go to durango.co.gov/turf grass replacement for more information. And then our e-bike replacement program is coming back this year. We did it last year. Applications will open mid-March. We have $100,000 in a grant secured from the Colorado Energy Office for that. So you can look for that in mid-April. Yeah.
Megan Graham, Public Health.
Oh, actually, that's not my role anymore, but it keeps changing, so it's hard to keep that. I'm filling in for Commissioner Salka this morning, who's actually getting ready to consider that rural jumpstart program that was mentioned earlier. Just a couple updates from the county this morning. We're moving forward with an RFP to do a fairgrounds master plan. We're going to be able to leverage conservation trust funds money for that project and whatever comes out of the master plan. So that RFP is not yet out, but will be soon. Regional weather radar on track for being live in 2024. We've got the radome. The thing itself has been tested and approved, and the concrete is in, and the storage equipment and all the associated stuff that will run the radome is ready to ship. We're just waiting for a couple of things for FCC approval to get that up and running. We are also under contract to purchase the Access building at 185 Settle in Bodo Park. That actually does have a public health nexus. If we do close on that building, that will house the La Plata County Public Health Department. Let's see what else. We've been building a lot of wildfire resources for the community. If you look on our website under emergency management, you can find all kinds of great tools for kind of assessing the wildfire risk of your property, seeing what ignition zones might be nearby, funding sources for helping mitigate, and then also countywide mitigation projects that are going on. And then, a lot of you know this, but CDOT did award $59 million for the US 160 expansion between Elmore's Corner and 225A. So we're excited to see those resources coming to the community. That's all I have for you today. Thanks.
So, new member spotlight. When we talked about moving the this around, we do the chairman circle update. We want to recognize Sasquatch Seal Coating. We sponsored the coffee this morning, so we need to give them around. And then Buck, are you Buck here? There, Buck, you want to stand up and help us out?
Good morning, folks. Probably don't have the most exciting or exotic business here in Plata County, but a lot of people didn't wake up thinking about their asphalt and the investment that they have in that. So if you've priced replacement, you'll very quickly start thinking about maintaining that. So proud to be a part of the community. We do commercial, residential. We specialize in the luxury homes and some of the bigger properties around. So serving all over Plata County, Telluride, Dove Creek, Pagosa. So proud to be here. Thank you.
All right, the next meeting is April 9th. As you can see, I was a little bit nervous that we weren't going to make it today. We got a lot of slides to go through, a lot of really great information. Thank you all for being here, and we will see you next month.